500 years ago, deep in the forests of West Africa, stood a kingdom that commanded respect and admiration. This was the Kingdom of Benin, one of the greatest civilizations in Africa's history. Its influence stretched across lands, its walls stood taller than imagination, and its people created art that still amazes the world today. At the center of this great empire was Benin City, a place described by visitors as one of the most beautiful and well-organized cities of its time. The city was surrounded by massive earthworks known as the Benin Walls. These walls stretched for thousands of kilometers, protecting the kingdom from invaders. They were so vast that historians later compared them to the Great Wall of China. Inside the walls, the city was alive with activity, wide streets filled with traders, craftsmen, and citizens going about their daily lives. In the early 1500s, the throne of Benin was held by Oba Esigi, one of the most celebrated kings in the history of the kingdom. Esigi was more than just a ruler. He was the heartbeat of his people. He expanded the kingdom's power through war, diplomacy, and trade. But beyond politics, he was also seen as a spiritual leader chosen by the gods to guide his people. His palace, the grandest building in the city, was decorated with beautiful bronze plaques, records of victories, rituals, and the royal family. Every plaque told a story, preserving history in shining metal. The people of Benin were not only warriors and traders, they were also great artists. They mastered the art of bronze casting, creating detailed sculptures of kings, queens, and warriors. They carved ivory into breathtaking designs, some shaped into masks, others into royal staffs. These artworks were not just decoration, they were the memory of the kingdom, crafted to honor ancestors and celebrate the greatness of their rulers. Even today, the Benin bronzes are considered among the most remarkable works of art ever created in Africa. The kingdom's wealth also came from trade. By the 1500s, Portuguese sailors had reached the West African coast. When they entered Benin, they were astonished by what they saw: streets so wide that a horse could turn around easily, markets full of goods, and a city more advanced than many in Europe. The Portuguese exchanged mirrors, textiles, and guns for pepper, ivory, and artwork from Benin. This trade made the kingdom richer and stronger, but the Oba kept a careful balance. He welcomed trade, but refused to allow outsiders to control his land. In this way, Benin remained independent and proud. The strength of Benin did not rest only on wealth or art. It was also a kingdom of warriors. The Benin army was disciplined and highly skilled, feared across West Africa. They carried spears, swords, and later muskets acquired from trade. The soldiers defended the kingdom fiercely and expanded its influence. Under Oba Esigi, Benin became not only a center of culture but also a military power. But the kingdom's greatness was not only measured in battles won. Its true power lay in the unity of its people. Farmers, craftsmen, traders, and warriors all contributed to the strength of the kingdom. Together, they built a society that valued order, tradition, and respect for the Oba. 500 years have passed, yet the story of Benin is still alive. The bronzes remain, kept in museums across the world, admired by millions. The remains of the Great Walls still stand as silent witnesses to a mighty past. And the memory of kings like Esigi reminds us that Africa was home to empires long before colonization. The Kingdom of Benin was a land of power, art, and vision. It was a kingdom where streets were alive with trade, where warriors defended honor, and where artists carved history into bronze. It was a civilization that stood tall among the greatest of its time. This is the legacy of Benin, a story of greatness, a story of resilience, a story of Africa's glory that time will never erase.